Hello everyone, it's Sloth, and today we are going for Ninjas, the fan favorite ninja deck. What's more interesting about this deck? It's actually only blue. We don't use Dimir ninjas, and that's something I really found unique about this deck. And it really makes sense when you start checking the deck. So we will talk more about this in the deck intro. Stay tuned. But let's look at the stats. I actually didn't think the deck performed so well. I thought that we were on like losing streak and I was ranting as always, but when I checked the stats, we actually won way more than we lost. And we were a lot against like tier 1 decks, so I find it really interesting. I didn't think that the ninjas can compete with this. So with that being said, we can go into matchups. I'm not sure how much it gives to you. Like when you have 1 or 2 games in each matchup, like it's hard to say how much it helps, but I'm presenting it just for you. Maybe you have like Excel spreadsheet with all the matchups of blue ninjas, so maybe it helps. Maybe it helps. We are of course in platinum, so take it into consideration. And yeah, that was the stat part. But let's go into the deck because I think that's the interesting part about this deck. Alright, and I'm actually excited to present this deck to you guys because I've been fan of ninjas since the release, and it's really hard. Like, on the ladder, basically nobody plays ninjas ever. So the fact that we not only have deck that actually seems to win more than it loses against like really good decks, that's the first thing. Even with the bad draws, and you will hear all the stories about bad draws in the games. If I'm getting too ranty, just tell me in the comments. But I felt the deck did not cooperate at all, while the enemy had really good draws, and we still went 3%, I believe. That's insanely good. Way above my expectations for the deck. And there are very good reasons for this, because like we twist the standard ninja formula into maybe not longer games because they are still very short and you want to go for maximum tempo and pressure the enemy, but we have a lot of control elements, so even though we are aggressive and we want to kill enemy as quickly as possible, we still can play in a way like a control deck, just a very short game. And I like the fact that for this deck, our enabler, so usually in ninja deck you have this like 1 mana flying dude or Dudes. And here we have Network Disruptor and Silver Raven. What is interesting, they are both artifact creatures. And this is where the fun part in the deck comes in. So we have things like Disruption Protocol, an old school counterspell, 2 mana counter target spell. The problem is that you need to have untapped artifact, but when you play those creatures, they have summoning sickness. And it means you can still tap them to pay the cost because they are not attacking. Summoning sickness does not affect this because you just need untapped artifact and you need to tap it. So that's a big deal. You actually have a 2 mana hard counter spell. So that's the first synergy, but that's not the only one. Of course, Sloth, you need more synergies to have a cool deck, and this is where Covert Technician comes in. One of the cards that is basically dismissed since start, but it actually has some things going for it. If you activate the ninjutsu cost, it is a 2 mana 2/4. That is already really good because that's a very strong stat line. Like even Fae of Wishes had 1/4, and that was a really good defensive creature. However, of course, you need to unblock something, so you need a flyer. And how ninjutsu works? Ninjutsu works that you need to bounce your own creature, which is negative tempo. But guess what? Our creatures that we want to bounce are both artifacts. It means that you always get them back. With Covert Technician, what more? You can get the benefit of enters the battlefield effect, so either scry 1 or tapping permanent. Like in this kind of decks, they do matter a lot. Tapping might be the difference between enemy life-linking blocker, healing enemy and blocking your lethal, or just killing enemy. And that's a really big deal, especially when you can do it multiple times. And scrying for a few turns really can change the game if you draw this 1 counterspell or 1 Fading Hope or 1 March. And this is a game-defining card definitely in this deck. We would play more, but There needs to be a balance. Like, this is a key card for the deck, even though we have only one of them. So going back to Covert Technician, you can get any artifact backed into the battlefield, and of course it's untapped. So it means that if you have 2 mana left over after attacking with Technician and getting the artifact, you have a 2 mana counterspell again. Yeah, so this is a big synergy, and don't forget you can put counters on this ninja, whatever, and it can bring bigger creatures, including other Covert Technician. And you will see in one of the games, I definitely discovered this on purpose. That was from the day one, from first game I knew about interactions so much. I definitely didn't by mistake discover it. So going back into the cards, this one is definitely one of the pillars for the deck, because we have this sub-team of artifacts, right? And we have staples like Prosperous Thief is a big ninja in every deck. This is one of the reasons the ninja deck can work, because you have 2 mana 3/2 that gives you ramp basically. And this is such a big deal, especially with decks that have very low cost cards like Disruptor, Fading Hope, because this enables you basically one more play for the turn. And having 2 creatures and having 1 creature against like 1 or 2 mana opponent is like the biggest difference in the world, especially if you want to keep attacking every turn to activate ninjutsu. So that is a big deal. We have Spectral Adversary, card that did not perform perfectly, but it was definitely very helpful in many situations, and I think this is one of the ways to push a lot of damage from, you know, surprise, because you don't really want to tap out as you have a lot of counter spells, and this creature enables you to work around enemy playing with, you know, around counter spells. One of the only ways. Also, if enemy play isn't strong enough to warrant a counter spell, this is just a better play, and you can still protect the board from the next turn onwards because you untap immediately. So that is a big deal, and the fact that you can face something out, it's either your creature to protect it, so basically you counter a removal for 4 mana in this way, or you just get rid of one of the annoying blockers and you push for lethal. So this card is definitely very important for the deck as well, and it has flying, so you will find yourself casting this for 2 mana very often, because in like 2-3 turns this is a lot of extra damage and very easy to bounce if you have to. And the big part of the deck is Essence Capture. It is the only way we can put counters on our creatures to, you know, enable this gimmick of Covert Technician into Covert Technician. It won't come into play often, but it does come into play sometimes. And the biggest deal is this pushes a lot of extra damage during the game. It is a 2 mana hard counter spell, and most of the decks that really threaten you in this early game race will be a creature decks. So if you can counter something, and we are mono blue, so we don't care about the mana colors, and we can benefit fully from this card. This is one of the reasons we don't play Dimir. And when you get this extra counter, that's a big deal. One thing you need to remember, counters get wasted when you bounce something back into your hand, right? So for this reason you do not want to put it on Disruptor that you plan to bounce next turn, because then you don't get the full value. Generally you want to put it on some creature that you know you don't want to bounce for like next future, unless you want to push for lethal very quickly and you need unblockable creatures with flying. Then you just, you know, invest this counter, but you generally don't want to bounce this creature anymore then. So we need to really weigh the options. And with that being said, we can still draw some cards and have Fading Hope for disruption, especially good if enemy has like enchantments, things like this, or just he banks his full gameplay on this one blocker that needs to trade with your creatures. When you get it back, and don't forget, you can Fading Hope into Essence Capture, and then you know exactly what the enemy will do. And this is one of the big deals in the deck. It's only 3 mana. If you have something like Prosperous Thief, like, think about this scenario. You have Prosperous Thief, enemy has 1 blocker that trades perfectly with this. You just bounce it with Fading Hope, then attack, get a free mana, and then have Essence Capture. So even if you whiff on the lands, you can make this big play. If you had 2 mana to cast the Thief, you also have 3 mana with the Treasure to do this mini combo. And those are small things that will change you the game. So I think that is decent introduction for the deck. Deck is really surprisingly synergistic, especially for one mana color. You would think that it limits the options. In this deck, that's not the case. You actually have everything in perfect synergy. So about the ladder experience, like it felt that the results you are getting, like from my win rate, and this is like on the lower side of the winning. I feel like our draws weren't great. I don't think we ever had like perfect hand with on play, on curve, with counter spells to back it up. I don't think we had even one game like this. Everything was, awkward, not in the right turns, and we still performed really, really well. So I think that in optimal scenario, this deck is really hard to beat, and in the best scenario, it's still decent. It definitely doesn't have full control over the game, so that's something like it annoys me as a control player. I want to, have every answer on everything, but it is a tempo version that is really still very controllish. You can disrupt enemy extremely well with Fading Hopes, Marches, and even Spectral Adversary. We have 4 of them. And for 4 mana, you can basically get rid of one of the creatures, or you can keep casting them turn after turn. For example, if enemy has like Gold Dragon, whatever, you can just keep phasing it every single turn, which is pretty hilarious and worth it. So the deck is really interesting. I think this is the only blue version of Ninjas I have seen so far that has a really good potential to be like a cool, strong deck. And yeah, I think we might even go higher if we play some more games, especially that we were actually playing against very strong decks like enchantments, boros, things like this. They weren't like weak decks generally. So I'm pretty happy with the results. I wouldn't expect Ninjas to perform. I just wanted to make a fun deck because I like the list, but actually the small advantages in mana and in cards that you keep getting, even like Moon Circuit's Hacker gets you 3 cards for 1 mana basically, those things add up, and sometimes they are enough to overwhelm the enemy even if he has the answers. So with that being said, if you like the decks that we present on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. You get a daily cool deck. Sometimes it can be even Ninjas, so nothing to scoff at. And it really helps to grow the channel. For the feedback and your comments, guys, as always, you are really the best. Like, I'm feeling that we are doing something right on this channel if this kind of, viewers stick by. So thank you for this, and like the feedback was amazing so far, so I really appreciate it. And with that being said, enjoy the ninja madness. There is a legend that we might play first one day, with decent hand that curves out, but I'm yet to see it. At least the hand is pretty decent. Like, we have a little bit of everything. Of course, enemy is having his perfect life, being on the play with 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop win game. I need those magic skills, man, to just draw on curve every single game. Alright, so what is going on? Enemy will play Adversary or Aspirant. Okay, that's suboptimal, still very good, but... Oh, it means... Sorry. I actually thought for a moment that he doesn't have everything perfect. Silly me. Okay, let's go into blockers. Let's go with Covert Technician. That's actually pretty good here. And we bounce this one. We get a 4 toughness creature, which actually will be pretty important here. We don't really care about what's tapped. It's basically the same. And we won't really block with Disruptor. The start, like, man, 3 mana, 3 cards, easy. Perfect curve out. Okay, it's not really by definition curving out. Okay, you know what? If his deck is so crappy, he might even lose the game that was so easy to win. The rifling is of course a problem, but that's one of the few ways he can let us win, actually. Alright, so we do not have cards that we want. How do we do it? We probably Fading Hope something and then Essence Capture. So we need to get rid of Initiate because this is the only creature, right? I think we wait. I think we go into Controller a bit. Like, Technician is really good blocker against his creatures, so he might start thinking about some weird stuff. Of course. Of course. Why wouldn't you? And let's make one big creature. It will help with all the blocks, definitely. Alright. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. I can put it into thumbnail. I messed up. Alright, so which one we bounce? We double block the other creature. This is 4/5. Yeah, so we don't have a choice really. I should have bounced Kumano before the attack. That was my bad. This is not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. So, you know, he basically trades his full play with this for a 1-drop. And see, lands are still here. What will he play? Initiate or the Angel Fire? Okay, we do not play anything this turn. Attacking is hard because he's at 22 and we are at 11, so we really need a good like tempo to make it happen. Bruh. Stop it. Stop it. Just give up. Please. That's an interesting situation. I'm not sure if we are supposed to play Adversary. I'm honestly not sure who wins in the long game. I really am not. I think we wait with Spectral Adversary. So this means attacking, right? Yeah. Because we have a good blocker and we can phase out whatever he plays. And of course we don't bounce it because then we lose the counter. Oh my god! I did not realize it. Oh my god, I'm getting synergies by mistake. Whenever deals combat damage, you may put less than or equal to that damage. Oh yes, calculated baby. Everything is so calculated. This is actually a really good synergy that I wasn't aware of. Man, this actually makes a big difference. And here we go again. But I think it's okay in a way, you know? Let's just make sure that we do it like this. We play the thingy because we want to get attack first on the board. We exile Raiju, so of course he cannot buff anything, he cannot attack with Kumano, everything is bad generally for the enemy. And we do have March, so we need to start pressuring him. The 19 HP is a big issue. So let's see what we draw. If I drew it one turn earlier, the game would be so much different. But with that being said, you know, let's do the Boros thing when we press the button. And let's see how he plays. Yeah? No. That gave up that we don't have artifacts in our hand. And that's fine. Let's just make sure we stop before the combat so we can exile whatever we want. Play with fire. Huh. You know what? I think that this is the best value that we will get from this card. Like, we will do this play sooner or later. Enemy knows about it, but we get premium 1 card thanks to this. Yeah, you got it, bro. It doesn't kill us though. Okay, Silver Raven. We need to be aggressive. We really need to be very aggressive with this stuff. So we attack with everything, enemy goes for... By the way, we need to play the creature, or we switch into nighttime and he gets additional damage, so we actually don't use the Technician this turn. He will cast Angel Fire, but we will counter it, so that's really good. Activating the Den would be the worst, probably. First we attack with everything. I think this is how we need to play. Yep. We cannot go around this one, but at least he's on 5. Decline. Now we cast a spell during our turn, so we don't flip. That's an amazing card. A Sloth top deck. This will be hard. We might die definitely. Man, this is why the bad decks are so great for us. Basically, enemy would win the game if he played a good build. But he doesn't, so we have a chance. Can we kill him? Like, win like 1 damage. Exactly 1 damage. That's so insane. Can I please get something? Does it count as something? Yeah, I think it does. We go into nighttime though, but we have good blockers. So I think this is the play. Enemy cannot activate the cave next turn, even if he draws land. Initiate is like useless. This will get buffed. So this will be 5-5, maybe 6-6. We block the rest. What is the damage? He will put the counter here, I think. So it will be 5-5, 6-6. We can block for a lot, so trample is not as scary. Okay. I think this is the play. With counterspell, maybe I should attack only with one of them. This might be a mistake. I'm not sure. I didn't want to do it because then he just gets a burn spell, kills this one, and suddenly we need again 2 turns or 3 turns to kill him. Brutal Qatar. And that is your only play. Pay 1, sure. Definitely we don't want to tap anything. And that is a good game, I believe. I don't think he can kill us. Not with this stuff. We only need those flyers. We know exactly what he has in the hand. So let's get it like this, right? This is the best block we have. Nice. Boros owned. That's a Sloth top deck, just to summarize the end of the game. He didn't play the card. Oh, he doesn't have white. And we are the beatdown, it seems. Man, with such perfect draw, he basically had 3 cards in first 2 turns and he was on the play. I cannot believe we actually won this. Guys, what the hell is wrong with the shuffler today? Every single hand has at least 2 duplicates or even 3. And we have 4 of those and a lot more lands, and we actually have 3-1. This is insane. Like, I'm getting every starting hand like this in this deck. So I guess we need to play one of the each cards, I guess, to hit lands. What the hell? Of course we are on the draw as well. Oh man, this gets me so much. I think this is correct. With this deck you want to go a bit lower, like on the curve, because you generally don't have a lot of, you know, big cost cards, so you need to go down the ground very quickly. We start with this one, of course. It's so unfortunate that we cannot be on the play ever. Is this good? Nah. Like, generally you will get lands from, you know, something else. Like, sooner or later you will hit this land, and when you get flooded, you cannot change them to value cards. So you try to go more of a value game, and then you still get the lands whether you want or not. And at least that is my approach. So let's see if we are allowed. Oh, we are. That's amazing. So we want to go for Technician because it has 4 toughness, and against Boros deck it's really hard to kill. And also you get free stuff, and free stuff is very cool. You know what? This is pretty good. This is pretty good because we have exactly the perfect mana to play it next turn. We play this, and then either counterspell or the adversary. The artifact would be probably a bit better, but you know, it's good enough. Let's... No! Oh my god, we bounced the Raven. Oh, that's such a smart choice. I hate you. I hate you for it. That was really good call by the enemy. But it does not matter, because we have ninjas. We have more ninjas than we want. Aha! I draw a card. Oh, the value. Yes, give me. Okay. Great. I think we go for the adversary right now. We really want to make sure that we hit a lot of cards. I mean, I want to ninjutsu something else, right? Yeah, this is a good target. This is good enough. Okay, it's enough, Lance. Thank you, game. It's enough. I would love to have something else right now. We could cycle, I guess, and just go for the adversary at the end step. I have no idea what the deck is. It seems to be like Boros enchantments. But we have adversary, so that's good enough. Like, draw is a draw. It's fine. Yeah, would be better before the attack, but that's fine. Yeah, we go with the adversary. I hope they will react. Card draw is a bit scary, even the cycling, so I hope he will try to do something. Okay, Fable is of course irritating as hell, but we need to go with it. I don't want to give the enemy choice, so let's phase it out. He gets the treasure, and that's unfortunate, but we get quite a lot of damage, and I think we are on the right path to win the game. He might use Invoke Justice and discard with the Fable, so we need to be careful about this. But we have so much value here. Alright, do I want to cycle something? Yeah, I could cycle this guy. Adversary has a lot of damage. I think we do it like this. It's the same damage, but more toughness, and we get to, you know, get the Raven in the field and scry for free. Yep. Yes, please. This isn't a bad card. This isn't a bad card. Make this appear is a huge deal here. He needs to make a big play because his life is running out. Oh, that's basically draw 3 2 cards. Huh, you would love this, wouldn't you? Nope. No, the control mage said no, you can't play with your cards. The main joy of playing control. That's interesting. Okay, I get it. Can we kill him? It's 7 damage. That's not enough. We cannot ramp it. We definitely attack with everything. I will go with this one. We basically get 3 cards, and we can put this into the battlefield for free. I think that's good enough. I hope we draw a counterspell. That would be really good. Oh, and I didn't think about it, but you actually want to trigger. Fortunately, the game is smarter than me, but you want to scry first. I have no idea what they have. Like, Runeforge champion is not good enough, right? Because then they have lifelink rune attached to this one. Okay, so they will heal back to 5. Then we can attack with everything. It's not the worst. Is it good enough? They still get the Kiki-Jiki. Runeforge is good enough with the lifelink, so for this reason I will take it. This might be a bad call, but then we have the adversary at the end step, which is also pretty fine, and is enough to kill the enemy. If he just has a rune, that's the worst case, because he heals for 3. And we cannot counter it, and we cannot really do anything about it. Naturalist, okay. And we want to put it on the Raven, because it has flying. You generally want to buff the creatures with evasion, because they can transfer those counters to player damage and not the trading. He still had it. Oh my god, he's smart. He actually played it really smart. I didn't think he has the perfect mana for this, but he has. It means he heals for 3, we hit for 5, but we still kill him. Like, it's still enough, unless He has a very, very good second rune somehow, but I don't think there exists anything. He hopes we will block. And we ain't no dummy. So, I think he lost. No? Summoning Sickness on Kiki-Jiki? Are you serious? Are you serious? He lacks 1 mana though. That's so good for us. We could phase out something, so that's not a big deal. Enemy is tapped out, yeah. That was so close. Enemy, like, I have to like praise our opponent. That was really great play. He exactly baited the counter spell that he expected, because he knew the card that will win him the game is Run for Champion into the healing rune. So well played, my friend. Man, I actually really like this deck. I think it has something going for it. Let's start with the Disruptor, of course. And we are having, you know what, I'm targeting this one. And you know what, we have original counterspell, 2 mana counterspell. Of course, the enemy has 1 drop, because why wouldn't he? Magic never change. But we'll take it. It will probably be Evolving Wilds or something like this. It means that we get milled, but then we Fading Hope and then we Essence Capture. That is the plan. What do they play next? Evolving Wilds and probably either crap or nothing, so we don't care about this too much. I would love to have something with mana acceleration, that would be so amazing. But you know, you can't have it all. And we do draw something. Yeah, I would love to draw a card, if I can. Oh, man, we still whiffed on the land, so Fading Hope will be... Wow! Are you freaking serious? And now Evolving Wild, of course! Like, this is insane. Enemies today draw such perfect hands. I never seen so perfect hands so far. Like, I've been playing those decks and I never had this kind of draw. Like, not even once. Oh my god. Are you actually serious this happened? Like, sure, okay, great. Magic, 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 magic. I will play this, because this is an artifact, so we want the counter spell, but mostly to tap the enemy. This way we can, you know, start cycling some stuff from our hand. Let's draw a card. I don't want to show the enemy what we have. I think we give up on the scry. Because having counter spells, hitting crap is just so important. It also buffs our creatures. I will go for this one. This is something we really like to bounce. So not really great target for counters. Wow. Wow. Either enemy plays deck entirely out of 1-drops, or he has like god draw against our deck. Like with all the double lands, all the craps, all the 1 mana removal, it's insane. What the hell is going on today? Like, we still have very good shot at winning this, but I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Alright, alright. This is hard. I'm not sure what to choose. Because we won't have enough mana if we play the Covert Technician. We have way more pressure though. Maybe the pressure is way to go. If he has such low value hand, without double casts, he has a long way to go with milling. Essence Capture, like, it's not possible he drew the third crap, right? It's just way too good. So I think we invest this turn to get Covert Technician on the board. And I think it's good enough. We need to sneak some damage, you know? And from the next turn onwards, we start going with our stuff. Let's tap this one. I like the fact that Covert Technician basically doesn't give you disadvantage of bouncing your creature, so you get a 2 mana to 4 with good ability. Okay, so he went for the manual mill. Okay, that will be a bit scary, but we have counterspell. We need to make it work, really. Silver Raven. Yeah, I really like this play. We also get to scry, which is amazing. Yeah, sure, I will take a freebie. Scry. I think this is good. It gives us mana, it gives us a lot of damage, and I think the damage is something that really counts. Yeah, like, damage with magic do count. Amazing Sloth. Uncounterable Mir, amazing. But we cannot kill him next turn. Man, the double crap with all, like, every land he played basically was double land. It's amazing how good he can get. Oh my god. And problem is that next turn he can do double Tasha and that will be enough, and we cannot do anything about it because he had such a godly draw. Why didn't I have... Oh right, he milled me. Okay, okay. For some reason I thought I have the card. Okay. That's interesting. Of course we whiff on the land every single turn, so we cannot even double counterspell, which would be the win condition, because he cannot cast more than 2 a turn. So all we needed to do is just attack. This way we do a bit better. So let's do it. It means we need to leave one of the artifacts untapped. I would love to draw it before, but I will still take it, I think. It's not perfect, but it is a decent. This is a huge tell what we have. Unfortunately, but maybe he doesn't remember about this card. Like, there is no reason to miss this one. It's really obvious what's going on. But we need to play like this. We need to be extremely efficient because enemy draw was just way too good. I cannot believe. And what more, our was pretty crappy. Like, we started well, but with his parts of interaction we exactly whiffed on the place we wanted to make. And his answers were exactly, both in mana and effect. If he plays land and plays double Tasha, we cannot do anything about it because we even got mana screwed. And we even got no Prosperous Thief during the whole game. That's a hard one. This can mill us, so I think we have to counter. And the counter goes to here. If he has mill spell, like, we cannot beat insanely good draws. Like, if enemy has everything, like, you cannot win. Okay? Maybe he doesn't have everything perfect. Maybe this is one part he finally whiffed on. We can only make one counter spell. But it means he doesn't have a mill in his hand. So it means that he needs to top deck the mill. If after all of this salt I will win, that would be insane. We can double counterspell, but then we cannot attack. It doesn't seem like a winning play. And just to make it even more salty, enemy is at perfectly 1 HP. Perfect 1 HP. I cannot believe we still won this. Oh my god. It really is a testimony to this deck. We had a really average draw. Enemy had perfect draw, in my opinion. Like, every single crap was maximized. Both craps at turn 1 into, like, everything he ever imagined. And we couldn't even hit our, you know, drops properly. So we still won. That really tells about the power of this deck. That is literally the third opening hand in that we have multiple Fading Hopes. I start game at least with 2 Fading Hopes in opening hand every single game. And in one of them I even had 3 Fading Hopes. Like, the Shuffler is insane today. Like, we don't play even 4 of those cards, and we have usually either the same as amount of lands or like even more. Oh my god, what's going on today, Shuffler? You are drunk, go home. Okay, that's a normal hand, thank you game. Thank you game. Finally. I guess we take... Yeah, we get rid of the land. Land is good and I hate to get rid of it. Of course enemy opens with 1 drop. as always. On the play with 1 drop, without mulligan. I think we need to get rid of non-value cards. Okay. It would be great to be on the play with this situation, because now we would already have essence capture. But you know, we cannot do it. Alright. Salt away. Attack. Man, it has been few games like this. It's insane. I'm on the verge of removing or fading hopes from my deck, even though they are great, but I just don't want to see them in my first 7 hands in multiples. It's insane how much there is. Alright. That's an interesting choice. Okay, how do we go about it? Let's see the attack. Yeah. Extremely smart attack. That's really good for us, because this means we get treasure for free, basically. Land. I actually do want land. Yeah, it will be really helpful. And enemy has no lifelink. Okay, okay. We are getting somewhere slowly, but we need to really fight our way. I think it will be both of them. Let's see the Scry. Scry is really important here. I need some good card. I think 1 essence capture is enough. We don't need both of them. Tapping is really good, because next turn he might leave a blocker, but we need to push for damage. Alright, so I will bounce this one if I can. So let's put the counter on the Raven. We need to really push for the damage and prevent any lifelink that he can have. As you can see, he's starting to think whether to attack. That's where you want him. 3 damage. Honestly, trading for this wouldn't be the worst. But I don't like 2 for 1. I think we have a little bit more time. Let's attack. He will trade, and that's fine. But this also means that we can go like this. And next turn, the attack will be even better. And he still trades this one, right? Oh! Huh? Oh, right! They trigger at the same time. I did not realize it. This is 5 damage. I think we wait with Disruptor. It's too good here. Like, we are winning the race. We need to prevent any new elements from the you know, thingy. So we do counter it, definitely. We have to. And then if he leaves the block, we just tap it. Oh, that's horrible draw. Oh, that's horrible draw. Alright. Enemy might still get lifelink, and that will be a problem. But at least we get for 5 damage, that's quite a lot. And if he attacks, it means he cannot block. This draw is devastating. We needed something, because we have like, what, 4 mana that we cannot use. So we can still win, but that was a very big step backwards. This, if that was like a March, or you know, this Covert Technician, things like this, something we desperately needed. Or just Fading Hope. Fading Hope would be enough. Now he can stabilize and we lack 1 damage. That's interesting. Huh. We cannot kill him if he sacrifices the Weaver. And next turn he buffs it. But I guess we can just... He can give it Trample. I think this is correct choice here. Because we preserve a lot of damage that we... Oh wow. If I knew, I would play very differently. But we still won, right? That was one of the draws we need, and we have 4 of them, I believe. I shouldn't pay 2 times. I'm just way too excited to win the game, basically. Oh yeah, that was so close. Oh my god, like this was on the verge of everything.